I need you to imagine something for me. Tonight, as you lay down, closing your eyes just like you've done thousands of times before. What if you never woke up again? Not from some sudden accident outside your home. Not from an unforeseen catastrophe, but from something that quietly creeps in while you sleep. Something that hundreds of thousands of adults over 50 experience every single year. Silently, without warning. Heart attacks, strokes, lives extinguished in the hours that should be the most restful, the most restorative, the most sacred of the day. And here's the most terrifying part: for nearly all of these victims, it wasn't rare genetics. It wasn't sheer bad luck. It wasn't some disease no one had ever heard of. It was something they were doing nightly, believing it to be harmless or even beneficial. I'm Dr. Williams Thompson, and before we dive deeper, I want you to reflect on this. When was the last time you felt truly confident that your sleep was protecting you instead of putting you at risk? Most adults over 50 don't realize that the very hours we associate with healing, rejuvenation, and rest are the hours when our cardiovascular system is most vulnerable. That quiet vulnerability has a rhythm, a predictable pattern that science has studied for decades, a pattern that, if ignored, can become deadly. The statistics are shocking. According to the American Heart Association, nearly half of all fatal cardiovascular events in older adults happen between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Half. These aren't random, isolated incidents, they are predictable, measurable, and avoidable in many cases. Yet, the world continues to treat sleep as an invulnerable sanctuary, never questioning the habits that quietly undermine it. During healthy, restorative sleep, your body is designed to enter a protective mode. Blood pressure dips by 10 to 20% in what's called the nocturnal dip. Your heart slows, your blood flows smoothly, your nervous system transitions from sympathetic fight or flight mode into parasympathetic rest and digest mode. Even your brain engages in a highly specialized cleaning process, flushing out toxic metabolic waste that accumulates during the day. Waste that, if left behind, contributes to cognitive decline, memory loss, and neurodegeneration. But when certain habits interfere with these protective processes, sleep becomes a battlefield. Your heart doesn't rest, your arteries remain under stress, blood thickens, pressure spikes. The very act that should heal you becomes the moment your life is most at risk. It's not dramatic exaggeration, it's the cold, clinical reality documented by decades of research. Tonight, you're going to learn the hidden nighttime behaviors that turn a simple act of sleep into a potential death trap, and you're going to learn how to reclaim those hours. How to transform your sleep from a danger zone into a fortress of protection for your heart. But first, let's confront the first and most overlooked culprit, the habit millions of adults unknowingly engage in each night, believing it to be perfectly ordinary. It's deceptively simple: eating late and eating heavily. For years, I worked with patients who never connected their evening meals to their health outcomes. It's just dinner, they'd say. Everyone eats at this hour, but after 50, late-night eating is far from harmless. When you consume a large meal close to bedtime, especially after 7 or 8 p.m., your digestive system demands a surge of blood flow. Your heart must pump harder to accommodate the gastrointestinal workload. Blood pressure rises instead of falling. Metabolism revs into high gear when it should be slowing down. It's the equivalent of telling a construction crew to continue a physically demanding project long after sunset, when fatigue should have already set in. Research confirms the danger. A longitudinal study in the European Heart Journal, tracking over 100,000 adults for several years, found a measurable and significant increase in the risk of nighttime heart attacks and strokes in those who ate late regularly. This wasn't a marginal difference, it was a life or death pattern. Late-night digestion raises triglycerides in your bloodstream, triggers systemic arterial inflammation, and destabilizes plaque in your arteries. In some cases, it even stimulates the vagus nerve, a critical nerve connecting your digestive system to your heart, potentially inducing dangerous arrhythmias. I recall a patient, 68 years old, who had been eating late dinners for decades. She never thought twice about it. One night, under that routine, she suffered a severe heart attack in her sleep. When we reviewed her habits, the connection was undeniable. Her heart had been laboring unnecessarily during hours meant for rest, and it finally failed under the accumulated strain. The good news, the part that truly empowers you, is that correcting this habit works immediately. Eating earlier, keeping portions light, and giving your body time to digest before bed allows your cardiovascular system to rest as nature intended. Blood pressure normalizes, metabolism slows, and your heart finally experiences the restorative pause it's been craving for decades. This is just the beginning. There are other nightly habits, less obvious, often dismissed, yet equally dangerous, that quietly stack risk upon risk. And in the next hours, you're going to uncover each one, understand the mechanisms, and gain the tools to shield your heart tonight and every night after. The second silent killer hiding in the shadows of your bedroom is one that many adults underestimate completely: skipping medications or taking them at the wrong time. On the surface, it seems harmless. I'll catch up tomorrow, people think. Missing one night won't matter. But when it comes to cardiovascular health, this casual mindset can be fatal. Your blood pressure, cholesterol, and clotting factors follow a precise circadian rhythm, a natural cycle that tells your heart and vessels when to be active and when to rest. During the day, your heart is supposed to work harder, pumping blood through your body efficiently, supporting movement, thought, and metabolism. At night, it should enter a deep state of rest, slowing its rhythm, lowering pressure, and giving your arteries a chance to recover. But for millions over 50, this rest never fully arrives. This phenomenon, known as nocturnal hypertension, occurs when blood pressure fails to dip or worse, rises during sleep. Left unchecked, it creates sustained stress on arteries already weakened by age and plaque buildup. And here's the chilling truth: those spikes happen while you are unconscious, unaware, and utterly defenseless. Studies published in The Lancet reveal that simply taking cardiovascular medications at the optimal time, sometimes shifting doses from morning to evening, can reduce the risk of nighttime heart attacks and strokes by nearly 50%. Half. That's not a statistic to ignore. Yet countless patients skip doses, take them haphazardly, or adjust timing based on convenience rather than science. I remember a patient, a 72-year-old man who casually missed his nightly blood pressure medication 3 or 4 nights a week. He didn't think it was dangerous. He assumed his body would adjust. One early morning, around 3:30 a.m., his wife found him unconscious. A massive stroke had struck him in his sleep, leaving him with permanent paralysis on one side of his body. The oversight, a habit many consider trivial, had irreversibly altered his life. Even minor inconsistencies matter. When blood pressure spikes unexpectedly during sleep, vulnerable plaques in your arteries can rupture. This rupture releases fragments that travel through your bloodstream as deadly clots, capable of triggering heart attacks or strokes without warning. In these moments, seconds determine life or death, and the clock is ticking while you remain asleep, oblivious. Consistency is everything. Pill organizers, phone alarms, nightly routines, these aren't trivial details, they are life-saving interventions. And if you take nothing else from this message, understand this: nighttime cardiovascular protection starts with adherence and timing. Skipping doses may feel inconsequential, but the consequences are anything but. But there's yet another stealthy predator that strikes during these same hours, and it's one that often goes completely undiagnosed: sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is insidious because it disguises itself as ordinary fatigue, snoring, or restless sleep. People wake exhausted, yet assume it's just part of aging. But behind the scenes, every single night, their bodies are enduring repeated episodes of oxygen deprivation, each lasting 10, 20, even 30 seconds or longer. With each pause in breathing, oxygen drops in the bloodstream, the heart accelerates in desperation, blood pressure surges, and stress hormones like adrenaline flood the system. And then, almost imperceptibly, the cycle resets: you gasp, resume breathing, and fall back asleep only to repeat the dangerous pattern dozens, sometimes hundreds, of times per night. Your heart, already under strain from age-related changes or other habits, experiences repeated bursts of extreme pressure, destabilizing rhythm and significantly increasing the risk of sudden cardiovascular events. Research from leading institutions, Johns Hopkins, Harvard, Stanford, demonstrates the brutal reality: untreated sleep apnea triples the risk of nighttime heart attacks and quadruples the risk of strokes. These aren't marginal increases, they are life-threatening elevations in risk, occurring silently while you lie in your bed, oblivious. Warning signs are often subtle but critical: loud snoring that disrupts partners, waking gasping for air, persistent morning headaches, extreme daytime sleepiness, difficult to control blood pressure, or waking with a dry mouth. Each symptom is a red flag your body is sending you, a cry for help you must not ignore. Treatment is effective and life-saving. CPAP therapy, positional adjustments, and proper medical oversight can stabilize oxygen levels, prevent dangerous surges in blood pressure, and restore the heart's chance to rest. The right intervention doesn't just improve sleep, it can literally save your life. Tonight, as you prepare to lie down, think of this: the risks aren't abstract, they are real, they are measurable, and they are happening right now in thousands of bedrooms across the country. But understanding these dangers is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to empower you. Awareness is your first weapon, and action is the second. The third habit silently sabotaging your heart while you sleep is one most people believe is harmless or even clever: going to bed dehydrated. After 50, your body's natural thirst signals weaken. You no longer feel the urgent need to drink, and many deliberately restrict fluids in the evening, thinking it will protect their sleep from unnecessary bathroom trips. On the surface, it seems like a reasonable, even practical strategy, but the reality inside your body tells a very different, far more dangerous story. During sleep, your body continues to lose water through multiple pathways. Every exhalation carries moisture out of your lungs. Sweat evaporates from your skin even if you don't notice it. Metabolism itself consumes water. By the time you wake up, you may have lost significant fluid, and if you went to bed dehydrated, your cardiovascular system enters the night at a measurable disadvantage. When blood volume decreases, your blood becomes thicker, more viscous, more sluggish. Imagine trying to pump syrup through a garden hose. Your heart must work harder, circulation slows, platelets and clotting factors collide more easily, forming dangerous clumps. When thickened blood circulates through a system already experiencing the natural slowing of sleep, it creates the perfect conditions for heart attacks, strokes, and tissue damage. A study in the Journal of Cardiovascular Disease examined hydration status and nighttime cardiovascular events. The results were stark: even moderate dehydration, not extreme, just moderate, increased the risk of nocturnal heart attacks and strokes by over 60%. More than half again is likely to experience life-threatening events, simply because their blood lacked the proper fluidity for safe circulation during sleep. I recall a patient, 70 years old, proud of his solution to avoid midnight bathroom trips: no fluids after dinner. One morning, around 4 a.m., he suffered a major stroke. Imaging revealed a clot blocking a critical cerebral artery. Blood tests showed elevated viscosity and concentrated red blood cells. Dehydration had silently set the stage for catastrophe. He survived, but the event left him physically impaired and profoundly aware that what he thought was harmless convenience had nearly cost him everything. The solution is deceptively simple: drink 1 full glass of water, 8 ounces, approximately 1 to 2 hours before bed. This timing ensures hydration while minimizing disruptive bathroom visits. Your blood thins, circulation improves, and your heart experiences the restorative flow it was designed to enjoy during sleep. It is small, inexpensive, effortless, and yet, it saves lives. But hydration alone isn't enough. Environmental conditions, often overlooked, silently amplify cardiovascular risk. Your bedroom temperature plays a subtle yet profound role in heart health. Extreme heat or cold forces your cardiovascular system to work overtime to maintain core body temperature. Cold rooms trigger constriction of blood vessels, raising blood pressure. Overheated rooms provoke sweating and further fluid loss, compounding the risk of thickened blood and clot formation. The American Heart Association recommends a consistent bedroom temperature between 65 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Achieving this simple adjustment can dramatically reduce nighttime stress on your cardiovascular system. Think of your bedroom as a sanctuary, not just for sleep, but for heart protection. Every choice, from what you eat, to when you take medications, to the water you drink, to the temperature in your room, interacts in a complex physiological symphony. Disrupt one instrument, and the entire harmony collapses, placing your heart and brain at risk. Many adults over 50 underestimate the cumulative effect of these habits. Late dinners, skipped medications, undiagnosed sleep apnea, dehydration, and poor environmental conditions may each seem minor alone, but together, they create a perfect storm, silently amplifying risk hour by hour while you sleep. These risks don't just add, they multiply, producing conditions where disaster is not just possible, but likely if unaddressed. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, understand this: sleep does not have to be dangerous. These vulnerabilities are not immutable. They are not predestined by genetics or bad luck. They are habits, patterns you can see, measure, and change. By understanding the hidden physiological impacts of dehydration and environmental stressors, you gain the power to transform your sleep from a potential death trap into a fortress of safety for your heart. Your heart has worked faithfully for decades, beating billions of times without a single complaint. Tonight, It is counting on you. Small, deliberate actions, hydrating properly, maintaining an optimal room temperature, can give your heart the chance to rest, restore, and protect you in return. There's another silent danger many adults over 50 fail to recognize: stress and mental activity late at night. The hours before sleep are meant to be a transition from the chaos of the day into a state of rest and repair. Yet, millions continue to scroll on their phones, answer emails, or replay the day's anxieties, unknowingly setting their hearts on a dangerous course. When you lie in bed with your mind racing, your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mode, remains fully active. Your heart rate stays elevated, blood vessels remain constricted, blood pressure spikes, even as you close your eyes. Your cardiovascular system is trapped in a heightened state of alert. Normally, the parasympathetic system should take over, slowing your heart, relaxing your arteries, and guiding your body into the nocturnal dip. But late-night stress and stimulation prevent this transition. Your heart doesn't get the break it needs. Combine this with other habits we've discussed: late meals, missed medications, dehydration, and you begin to see the cumulative danger. Each factor alone stresses the system. Together, they form a perfect storm, silently amplifying the risk of catastrophic events. Imagine a finely tuned orchestra suddenly struck by dissonant chaos. The harmony collapses. That is what happens inside your body when multiple dangerous habits converge during sleep. Consider the effects of mental stimulation in a more tangible way. The blue light emitted by screens suppresses melatonin, the hormone responsible for signaling sleep. Your body perceives alertness even as your eyes close. Heart rate remains elevated, blood pressure refuses to dip, and your heart continues working overtime instead of resting. This may feel innocuous, perhaps you're just catching up or relaxing, but physiologically, it is setting the stage for disaster. One of my patients, a 66-year-old man, exemplified this. Each night, he worked on his laptop until 11 p.m., answering emails and reviewing spreadsheets. He assumed this routine was harmless after all. He was just winding down. Yet, over months, he began experiencing occasional nocturnal palpitations and restless nights. One evening, without warning, a heart attack struck him in his sleep. Emergency tests revealed chronic strain on his heart, exacerbated by poor sleep transitions and elevated nighttime blood pressure. He survived, but the episode could have been prevented simply by shutting down electronics and allowing the body to enter its natural restorative mode before bed. Now, here's the empowering truth: small changes produce immediate, measurable results. Transitioning into a calm, pre-sleep routine allows your parasympathetic nervous system to activate properly. Your heart slows, blood vessels relax, blood pressure dips as intended. Your brain engages in essential cleanup processes. The risk of nighttime cardiovascular events begins to drop from the very first night you implement this protective routine. And yet, even with stress control, hydration, medication timing, and temperature management, the final layer of protection remains: the sleep position and airway integrity. Sleep apnea, which we discussed earlier, is devastating because it repeatedly deprives the heart and brain of oxygen. But even subtle positional choices can amplify or reduce risk. Sleeping on your back allows the tongue and soft tissues of your throat to collapse backward, partially obstructing the airway and triggering apneic episodes. Sleeping on your side can dramatically reduce these interruptions, decreasing nocturnal oxygen drops, lowering heart strain, and improving long-term cardiovascular outcomes. It's astonishing how much power you have over your heart while you sleep. These aren't extreme lifestyle changes. They aren't expensive treatments or complicated interventions. Timing dinner, staying hydrated, managing stress, maintaining the right environment, and adjusting your sleep position, each one of these alone protects your heart. And together, they form a defensive shield against nighttime heart attacks and strokes. Many adults over 50 underestimate this control. They believe genetics or age determine fate. But the evidence is clear: the majority of nocturnal cardiovascular events are preventable through knowledge and consistent action. Tonight, as you prepare for bed, understand that every decision you make, what you eat, when you hydrate, how you relax, how you position yourself, can either protect your life or quietly place it at risk. Your heart has served you faithfully for decades, never complaining, never stopping. It has pumped billions of times without recognition. Tonight, it needs you to be faithful in return. Every small adjustment is an act of gratitude, a tangible way to safeguard the very organ that sustains you. Now, let's bring everything together, because awareness alone is not enough. Knowing the risks won't protect your heart unless you take deliberate, consistent action. The good news is that small, intentional changes tonight can save your life. These are habits you can implement immediately, tonight, without expensive equipment or complicated routines. Start with dinner, make it earlier and lighter. After 50, your body no longer tolerates late, heavy meals the way it once did. Aim to finish your last significant meal at least 2 to 3 hours before lying down. Keep portions moderate, favoring lean protein, vegetables, and complex carbohydrates. Avoid rich, fried, or highly processed foods that force your heart to work overtime during hours meant for rest. This simple timing adjustment allows blood pressure to naturally dip and your heart to enter restorative mode. Next, consider your medications. If you take drugs for blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood thinning, the timing is critical. Consult your doctor about optimal administration, specifically for nighttime protection. Don't skip doses. Use alarms, pill organizers, or any reminder system that ensures consistency every night. Even missing one dose can trigger dangerous spikes in blood pressure, silently setting the stage for clot formation, plaque rupture, or arrhythmias. Your life literally depends on this consistency. Hydration is the third cornerstone. Drink 1 full glass of water 1 to 2 hours before bed. This small intervention ensures your blood remains smooth, flowing freely, and reduces the risk of nocturnal clots. Avoid overdoing it to prevent multiple nighttime trips to the bathroom. But don't starve your heart of essential fluids. Think of it as giving your cardiovascular system the lubrication it needs to function safely while you sleep. Environmental conditions may seem minor, but they can amplify risk dramatically. Keep your bedroom temperature between 65 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, a range that optimizes circulation and prevents strain on your heart. Extreme cold forces vessels to constrict, raising pressure. Excessive heat accelerates fluid loss and thickens blood. A stable, comfortable environment allows your body to relax fully, blood pressure to normalize, and heart rate to drop into its protective nocturnal rhythm. Stress control is equally vital. Avoid electronics, late-night work, or emotionally taxing activities in the hour before bed. Create a calm, pre-sleep routine, reading, meditation, or gentle stretches. This encourages the parasympathetic system to take over, slowing the heart, relaxing arteries, and preparing your body for restorative sleep. Even subtle moments of mental calm can significantly reduce nighttime cardiovascular risk. Finally, address sleep apnea and positional health. If you snore, wake gasping, or feel chronically exhausted despite 7 to 8 hours of sleep, consult a specialist. Untreated sleep apnea is one of the most underdiagnosed killers of adults over 50. If diagnosed, CPAP therapy or positional adjustments can prevent repeated oxygen deprivation, drastically reducing the risk of heart attack or stroke. Sleeping on your side rather than your back can minimize airway obstruction and give your heart a chance to rest uninterrupted. The magic of these 5 interventions is that they work synergistically. Each habit alone offers protection. Together, they form a shield, reducing nighttime cardiovascular risk dramatically. Your heart, which has worked tirelessly for decades, can finally experience the restorative sleep it deserves. Think about it. Tonight, you have the power to create an environment, a routine, and a set of behaviors that transform your bedroom from a potential danger zone into a sanctuary for your heart. You don't need miracle drugs, fancy devices, or extreme lifestyle overhauls. You need awareness, commitment, and consistency, the same 3 elements that have protected your heart unknowingly for decades during waking hours. Many adults mistakenly believe that once you reach a certain age, catastrophic cardiovascular events are inevitable. That is false. The vast majority of nighttime heart attacks and strokes are preventable. They are not accidents, nor are they purely genetic destiny. They are the consequence of modifiable behaviors that, when corrected, dramatically reduce risk and restore peace of mind. Tonight, take control. Apply these changes immediately. Let your dinner, medications, hydration, environment, stress control, and sleep position serve your heart instead of sabotaging it. You owe yourself and your heart this protection. These are not suggestions, they are life-saving interventions you can implement right now. Tonight, as you prepare to close your eyes, take a moment to consider the stakes. This is not fear-mongering, this is medical reality. Every habit, every choice, every action or inaction has a measurable effect on your heart while you sleep. Hundreds of thousands of adults over 50 experience heart attacks and strokes in their sleep each year, often without warning, often without ever realizing the risks they were exposing themselves to. But here's the truth that is rarely spoken: most of these tragedies are preventable. Your heart has been your silent partner for decades. It has pumped billions of times, tirelessly, without complaint. It has adjusted to your lifestyle, your choices, your stresses, your triumphs and failures. And now, as it enters the hours designed for restoration, it is counting on you. Tonight, you have the power to protect it, to give it the care it deserves, to dramatically reduce your risk of sudden cardiovascular catastrophe. The actions you take today, tonight, have consequences that ripple forward into every morning you wake. Implement the heart-safe nighttime routine. Eat earlier, lighter meals, hydrate properly, take medications consistently and at the correct times. Create a calm, pre-sleep environment that encourages parasympathetic rest. Keep your bedroom temperature ideal. Address sleep apnea, using CPAP or positional therapy if needed. These 5 steps, simple yet profound, are scientifically proven to reduce the risk of nighttime heart attacks and strokes. Consider the lives you touch. You may be watching this for yourself, or for someone you love, a spouse, a parent, a friend. Every action you take not only protects you but shields them from the pain of sudden loss. Imagine the difference between waking up tomorrow, heart healthy, safe, and restored, versus the devastation of a life-ending cardiovascular event that could have been prevented. That difference is entirely within your control. I know change can feel overwhelming. Implementing even a single adjustment can seem like a small hurdle, yet small steps compounded nightly produce life-saving outcomes. Start where you can, perhaps tonight. Begin with hydration and a calm pre-sleep routine. Tomorrow, adjust meal timing. The following night, review medication consistency. Layer these protections, one by one, until your sleep becomes the sanctuary it was always meant to be. And there's a psychological benefit as well. Taking control of your sleep, your heart health, your habits, instills confidence, reduces anxiety, and gives you a tangible sense of power over your longevity. You're no longer at the mercy of genetics, bad luck, or unseen forces. You are choosing life. You are choosing safety. You are choosing your heart's protection. Tonight, when you lie down, remember, your heart is not invincible, but it is resilient. And resilience is amplified when paired with knowledge, awareness, and consistent action. By implementing the heart-safe routine, you are creating an environment where your heart can truly rest, restore, and recover, night after night, year after year. This is not hypothetical. This is happening right now, in bedrooms across the world. People just like you are unknowingly courting disaster or, with the information you now have, taking immediate control and changing the outcome. There is no better time than tonight to start. Don't delay. Don't assume tomorrow will be safer. The risk is real. The opportunity is now, and your heart is waiting. Take a deep breath. Commit to the changes. Let tonight mark the first step in reclaiming sleep as a source of restoration, not danger. Implement the heart-safe routine. Watch your energy improve, your sleep quality rise, and your morning blood pressure normalize. Feel the power of control in your hands, the knowledge that you can protect yourself from one of the most silent, preventable killers of adults over 50. Your heart has served faithfully for decades. Now, it's your turn to serve it. Start tonight. Eat early. Hydrate. Take your medications. Reduce stress. Adjust your environment. Protect your airway. Let sleep heal you. Let it safeguard you. Let it save your life. Sweet dreams, safe heart, and remember, the power to protect yourself is entirely in your hands. Use it tonight.